Welcome everybody, my name is Ace, and your watch begins with a brand new video. Another roguelike, a good old roguelike. Soulstone Survivor. It's currently only available in demo format, to me at least. I'm not sure if there's any other ways to get a more completed version. But the game isn't out yet as of the time of this recording. But the demo is, so if you want to try it out, if you like what you will be seeing soon enough, you can do so on Steam as we speak. Now, I've been playing it for a few hours, and it definitely has potential. It's another one of those games, right? Like where there's so much potential, but the question is, will they deliver? It's always what I wonder, but allow me to show you what the game currently has to offer. Now, you choose a character. There's definitely plans to add a lot of characters, and each character has a selection of weapons you have to unlock over time. Right now, in the demo, you have a character that starts with a melee weapon, a mage that starts with, your typical scepter, staff-looking thing, and a ranger with a bow. Now, you might have already noticed two different things. A bunch of stats here and a ability at the bottom. That's pretty much all you get when you start off, at least that's the thing that matters when you make a character selection happen. So far, at least. I'm not sure if these things will be open to interpretation or change. But right now, as it stands, you choose a character. They have a bunch of stats. They start off with a specific skill, which is unique to that weapon that they have equipped. I don't believe that these skills can be found on any other character, despite there being skills in the game that can be used on cross characters. Once you start playing the game and level up, you can choose abilities, but you'll get to that. We'll get to that in just a wee bit. Now, there's a bunch of stats related to it. You can upgrade these things at the blacksmith. You have to farm resources, and then you also get a new weapon. It has different stats and also a different ability. Now, I can't quite tell if certain abilities or certain weapons are necessarily like just straight upgrades, or if these are side grades. Because, for example, if you look at the ranger, he gets a bunch of AoE, a bunch of arrows, some interesting stats, but then if you look at the actual ability prior to that, which has more dash, more movement speed, although significantly squishy, but more potential damage, but also the ability itself that he gets has a debuff that allows for increased damage taken. So that also sounds very, very potent. So I'm not sure if the intent is side grades or like natural upgrades. I'm not sure. I have to keep an eye on that. And there's a bunch of different interesting looking characters. Like, is this a Viking? Proper knight looking bastard? A demon looking boy? A barbarian maybe? Or some kind of druid? Definitely a lot of potential here. And I hope they will deliver. As I said, the blacksmith just allows you to upgrade your weapons, which we are not currently aware of. I thought you could just select a thing and then just upgrade. I tried that when I had enough points. But no, you have to actually fill out the entire recipe. So you have to play different levels to get different resources, as every level has different resources available. Right now, there's a rune system that is currently not active, only available in the full version. This is only but the demo. But it seems like you can perhaps alter the play style of the game or the character. I'm not sure what these will be. Maybe they are increases of challenges for greater rewards. Maybe they are just enhancements to your character, to the play style. I don't know what to expect here, but this does smell of a bunch of meta progression, which is always good to see in games like these. And speaking of meta progression, we also have a bit of a talent tree that could definitely see room for expansion. You can apparently just respec as you see fit. So if you don't like something, you can just rebuild it. Just like that. Super easy, very convenient. I chose to go with some basic movement speed and some basic range to make picking up things like experience a little easier. But you get your basic standard damage increases, area of effects goes up, you have your health, your defenses, and your utility and such. It's pretty bland for a talent tree. It's very numerical values go up, number go up, smile happens. But I like to see, especially in the recent years with so much innovation and creativity in these particular genres, I always like to see a little bit more tangible changes to play style to certain effects, right? That are not just numerical values go up. So little bland in my experience, in my for my personal preference, but as I also said, it is but the demo, and there's a lot of room still for change. I don't know what they're going to do with it. This thing in the middle is also glowing, but it doesn't do anything, so I'm not sure if that's just a visual thing or perhaps a indicator of things to come. Speaking of things to come, I think we should just start. I think I like to go with the melee boy. I see a lot of people play with the ranged. Range, of course, in these games, definitely preferable. Definitely the way to go. But I like my tanky boy, and I like to go with a certain build that I have in mind. I had a plan for the video, and I'm going to see if I can execute it. Hopefully. Alright, let's go to fight. No rune selected because that's still not available. This is, by the way, what I was talking about when it comes down to different materials. There's gold here and topaz. Here we have rubies and copper. And here we have iron and emerald. Now, I still need more irons. I think I'm just going to do that map. I haven't really noticed a change in difficulty based on the map. It just seems like a different map. And the difficulty spikes the longer the game goes on. Alright. It starts off simple. And then, of course, it ramps up. The yellow things that are dropping on the floor are your XP. And those light blue things that drop from kills are your... the things you spend to get upgrades and your skill tree, or to improve your skill tree to unlock those things at the blacksmith once you have enough ingredients. Alright. Trying to group them all up in a nice little section. And yes, when it comes down to the materials like iron, you do have to break those things up for you to obtain them. One of the things that has bothered me so far is that despite having massive improvements on pickup range for XP, it seems very little. Still, I had like over 200, 300% nearly pickup range and still felt like I had to walk up to an item. So I don't feel like pickup range is all that important. You will be able to unlock reroll and whatever banish is. Right now it doesn't do anything. I'm clicking on it, nothing is happening. So right now just passives. I'll go with some movement speed. I like movement speed. I like to be able to go quick, especially as a melee boy. I want to be able to get out of harm's way. Especially since the game gets very chaotic, very cluttered with AoE effects. Sometimes very difficult to see where danger is and where pain will occur if you don't move out. So you just kind of have to keep moving. Speaking of AoE, it's like they're listening to me. It's a beautiful thing. Another level. Very good. Not getting lucky. I had an idea in mind, but it doesn't look like I'm getting lucky here. Let's just do Thunderclap. A slow attack, but hard hitting. And I am trying to group up these creatures. So we should be okay if it occurs. Ah, we have a big boy coming in. Ooh, I do like this, but the increased experience this early? Let's ramp. That green crystal is one of the very few ways you can currently heal yourself. I'm not sure if they're finite or just rare spawns. Materials do respawn as the game continues, but I'm not sure about the health crystals. They do seem to be at least very rare if they do. So we want to make sure we don't unnecessarily break them. Touch of ice? Sure, why not? We're getting utility, but not really the things that I had in mind. Alright, I want to... Ah, damn, my AoE is a little too big. Did manage to get the lightning strike on them. Now, you do have to aim certain abilities. Like my slash, I do have to aim that. But my lightning strike, that happens automatically. And there's a bunch of skills that require aiming and other skills that just are completely and entirely automatic. Or just straight up buffs that last. I am thinking about doing an instant build, which might be interesting. A powerful strike in the direction you are aiming at. Hit enemies in a long line in front of you, dealing a bunch of damage and doing bleed. Both seem very good. Ooh, this is a lot quicker, so I think I'll just go with that. Now, attack speed is also like cooldown reduction. We recently played a game where that was a similar notion, where attack speed equaled cooldown reduction. I believe it was just Kings. Ooh, different qualities. Subdue. And we just picked up Subdue, which is very nice. So we unlocked that little talent tree. Now, some of these skills are available to any and all characters. So far, the only things that I've really seen that are really unique to certain classes are the arcane tree, which is on the mage. And of course, the buffs that relate to their original skill that is on their weapon. Speaking of, like this slash, that's with the original starting skill. So I might just pick that up. Like this is, for example, also the magnetic tree, which allows you to expand your pickup range. But like I said, I invested a lot in magnetic, and it didn't feel like it was doing a whole lot. Not until I got like hundreds of increases. So it didn't feel very good. I wonder if that is intended, or if they're still like kind of measuring what feels good and what is bad. Ooh, uppercut, another melee instant. Throw enemies in the direction you are aiming at the air, causing 300 damage and inflicting a stun and a wound. A stun speaks for itself. A wound? Ooh, double effect. All right. Yeah, I'm thinking we're going to go with a instant build. I was going to go for an instant AoE build, but it seems like my approach is more targeted, which is fine. Oh yeah, I forgot we also have the dash ability, which seems to ignore hitboxes, so you can dash through people. And also it has a little bit of iframe action, not a whole lot. I've been knocked out of it a few times, which is unfortunate. Ooh, this is a very nice one, but I don't want to keep this ability. Doom is just an additional dot, but I want to get some more AoE. Now 5% is not really something that's going to change the world, but you know, we'll get there. Every single marathon starts with a single step, or so I've been told. Not to exclude people who can't walk, but yeah. Behemoth. Possibly good. Yeah, sure. Let's get a little bit more health. Because we're still at full health, so there's still value to be had there. Because there's, right now, the only good way of healing that I know of. Well, there's two good ways of healing. It's the healing crystals. They heal for a significant amount. And there's also an ability that has the ability to heal. An ability that has the ability to heal. An incredible thing. A wonderful sentence. It's the smite ability. It's a little AoE, which comes with the note that it can heal friendlies. You are apparently your own friendly, so if you stand in it, you can receive the heal as it finishes its casts. Unfortunately, it is quite slow, and as a result, quite dangerous. Ah, damn. Do I go with a buff? Do I go with a buff? Let's go with a buff. Let's go full warrior mode. Alright, so that's one of the first real bosses. Right now, every single boss is the same. On every level. It's always this delightful, poisonous bastard. Oh, speaking of poison, I should not walk in the poison. Oh, and of course the explodey guys also have come out. Yeah, like, it gets very chaotic very quickly. This is still very simple. Ooh, look at that. Legendary double cast. All your skills of the type physical will now double cast. That is incredible. As you can see, my slash does double. All the other abilities I have as well, like subdue, they are going off twice now as well. That is very lovely. A lot of power there. If we build correctly. Area of effect. Sure, let's go. It's an epic one. Let's go. Alright, now the unfortunate reality of having a melee build is that all those suicide bombers get close to you and they will ruin your day. So we have to be wary of that. Pick up that crystal. It's about time we did that. There's a lot of iron. A lot of iron there. Now one of the reasons I want to do AoE is because it gives me more range, theoretically as well, so I can actually strike these creatures that explode on hit a little easier. Damn. Nothing good here. That's unfortunate. Do a Chaos Bomb. Hopefully we can replace them with some better skills. I need to pay more attention. Like, I'm trying to aim, and as a result, I'm not looking where I'm going. And unfortunately, I can avoid the melee hits with enough speed. But those explodey boys, they just ruin your day. Let's get spontaneous combustion. Chance to apply a little fire dodge. Just a little bit more damage. Just to tickle them a little bit occasionally. Ah, damn. Trying to use my iframes to get through as well. Ooh, increased area effect of all instant spells. That's what we like to see. That's incredible. If we can stack things like that, we're going to have a great time. All right. On the top right, you can see kind of the objectives. Now, you are already, as you are fighting this boss, at some point during the boss fight, the ability to unlock the next boss occurs as well, which means you could end up fighting 2 bosses if you don't kill the boss fast enough, and that ends up being quite nutty. If all your skills are full, you have the ability to replace them with passive power-ups, but you can also replace skills that you don't necessarily enjoy with other actives. Let me show you. Bloodlust is a good buff. And let's get rid of the Thunderclap right here. And as you can see, now we have Thunderclap. We removed Thunderclap, and now we have Bloodlust. Bloodlust is a pretty good one. Do I want to have... Let's get another chance for a different dot? Maybe? Sure, why not? Different dot. Or do I already have that dot? The bottom left, there's a little bit of a transparency going on of all the talents you have. If you want to see your exact stats, you can press escape to pause the game. You get the character attributes entirely, which is very useful if you want to do like crit builds and whatnot, which are very much in existence. There are effects that trigger on crit, and there's a bunch of crit multi, which I believe in this game is called crit potency, and crit chance as well, which seems fairly important if you want to do a crit build. Double cast, your skills of the type ranged, which only affects Chaos Bomb, which is a skill we want to get rid of. Now I can go for 15 health or more speed. Let's go with more speed. Just a little bit more. Alright. I was able to pick up the crystal from the boss. Speaking of the thing that heals, Holy Ranged Area. As you can see, it heals you for 5, which is super exciting. A 5 whole healing. Let's get a passive. A lot of range. I'm getting a lot of range things here. Interesting. Increases the duration of the buffs from all skills of your type by 10% and increases number 1. Alright, so we have a buff legendary. Once again, not what I was looking for. I'm looking for instant melee skills to skill that. But that's the problem with roguelikes. You can't always get what you want. It's still fairly early in the run. Fairly early. Maybe that was the wrong thing to do. It might have been. Damn, do I go with Bloodlust? Bloodlust is a good buff. Movement speed, and attack speed is cooldown reduction. Sure. We'll keep Bloodlust. I might throw out the other. We'll keep Bloodlust. There it is. Festering Strike. That's the one I was looking for. That's an incredible skill. We'll replace that with the Poison Bomb. It's a 360 AoE that applies poison. It's very lovely. I had a run where I completely cranked it up to oblivion, and I was able to almost entirely swipe the entire screen, which was very good. Ooh, this is nice. But 20% movement speed is just a little nicer, I think. Oh yeah, now we're moving. Now we're moving. Definitely doing a lot more single steps in that aforementioned marathon than anything else. Alright, let's go. Let's keep trucking. Poison. Which only affects the Festering Strike. Maybe it's a little... Yeah, it is a nice blue one. But it only affects Festering. I could go for... Ramping. We're ramping. I have dreams. I have ideas. Yeah, you can also do a skeleton build. They're quite nice because they do pull aggro. Power-ups. Do I want to make myself more tanky? Which is not a bad idea. Or do I want to get more cooldown reduction? Let's go a little bit more tanky. Alright. Damn. A lot of explosions happening. It is unclear to me like how much damage I'm really taking. Or when I'm actually taking damage or blocking damage. It's a little unclear to me. I do think that this game in general has a bit of a clarity issue, which is not a terrible thing. Like, chaos sometimes is fun. I mean, when you look at games like Binding of Isaac or Vampire Survivors or 20 Minutes Till Dawn, you know, games that are very reminiscent of this. Once you get big enough, once you go large enough to become a god, you also have no longer an idea of what the hell is going on at times. Expansive. Expansive, not expensive. Two different things. And yet so similar. Shield Wall, Lightning Bolt. Nah, I'm good. Ooh. Increase the frequency in which all your skills of the type buff are cast. So that's actually different than attack speed. That's actually proper cooldown reduction in a way. Well, I did say I want to keep Bloodlust up. Maybe I can get to a point where I can keep my buffs up permanently? Maybe you can scale that enough. Duration and cooldown reduction to have a permanent uptime. That would be kind of sick. Not gonna lie, that would be kind of awesome. Alright. Ooh, slash indomitable epic duration. Speaking of epic duration. It is tricky because I also need damage. I'm starting to fall a little behind right now. Yeah, that indicator is but a guideline. He also adjusts his projectiles shortly after that cast, as you can see. Those were definitely outside of that line. Indicators are definitely but a guideline in this game. Let's go with the 10% block chance to avoid damage. I think that's very lovely. That fragility debuff is really nice. Increased damage taken for each stack. Not a terrible thing to have in a build like this. We're applying a lot of debuffs. I wonder if there ever will be a talent or a character or a weapon that scales damage or has benefits based on the amount of debuffs on a unit. Ooh. Thrust. Hit enemies in a long line in front of you. This is also really nice because bleed increases crit chance as well. I think I'm doing it. I think I'm going to get rid of the intimidating shout. And we'll keep it like this. This will be our build. We'll see how much we can scale this into oblivion. Lot of bitrate destroying shenanigans happening. And honestly, if you go mage with AoE and meteors and such, I assure you, this feels very clear compared to that. This feels still very easy to understand. I had AoEs on the meteorites so vast, so grand, I could literally not see the ground. Could not see the bosses, could not see the enemies. Literally could not see anything. Hence my concern with the clarity. Ooh, do I want to get more? Let's get a little bit more AoE. Like I said, there is no real way of gaining health back for this build except for like the crystals. And the crystals are relatively rare once you've picked most of them up that the initial map spawns by. I'm not sure what their logic is. But so far, there's no on-hit healing or chance to heal on kill. No life leech, no nothing of the sorts. Which I do think this game is kind of missing. But maybe that's just me. Maybe it's a conscious decision. I don't think I've ever played a game where there was not a heal effect you could obtain. There was on-hit healing or healing on kill or something. Or healing after X amount of hits. Things like that. Alright, let's get out of that madness. Critical strike potency. A little bit multi. No, let's go with that. Alright. Now, so far, it doesn't seem like level does a whole lot to adjust the skills, as opposed to just numerical value goes up. And I do think that a lot of upgrades are very similar, so I hope to see more changes in that, more unique... like kind of differences in that to change it a little, to change it up. Like you do have the ability to double cast. There's like greater AoE, the application of debuffs and such. So there's a lot to it, but it feels like it's kind of the similar sentiment for every single ability. Not a terrible thing. You got to start somewhere, right? And we are still very much in demo. This is more of a proof of concept, and it certainly delivers on that concept of the aforementioned proof. Let's clean up the minions. I don't like to fight around this little wall. Poison bolt, thunderstrike, fireball. And we are the melee character. You can definitely see we're getting a lot of spells or spell-like abilities. So if you want to play the melee guy with magic spells, you can totally do that. Oof, that's a lot of health though. Let's go. Why not? Let's become unkillable. Alright, sheer endurance. The problem with endurance is it doesn't help us kill the enemy quicker. It doesn't help us achieve our win condition, which is killing the enemy. The problem with playing defensively in Magic the Gathering, for example. Sure, you can heal yourself to infinity and beyond, but if you don't do any damage to the enemy, you're still going to have to wait until nobody has cards left to draw. And as I stated earlier, when the boss is out, you are also already progressing to getting the next boss to spawn. If you don't kill the boss quickly enough, you could end up with multiple bosses active, which has happened to me. Oof. Let's go with a crit chance, because right now my crit chance is 15%. So a base chance of 5. That ability that we just picked up, that buff, that talent, that augment, what have you, gave us another 10, making 15. Alright. I wonder if they will add, because right now the base stats seem to be focused on the weapon you equip based on the character. I wonder if the characters themselves will have base adjustments. Or maybe they already have. It's difficult to tell without having multiple weapons unlocked to check that against multiple characters. Debilitating Plague. Every time you apply a stack of poison, there's a 50% chance to apply Doom as well. Pretty good. If you have a poison build, you can apply an additional stack of Doom, which is a cooling effect to it, which is a kind of a cooling effect to it. So that might potentially be very potent if you can stack that very quickly and very often to large amounts. Alright, it is definitely getting a little bit more crazy right now. Nice, I'm trying to pick up more experience. Critical strike chance 15, let's go. That gives us a total of 30, almost 1/3 of every third attack, give or take, in a vacuum, can crit. And base crit multiplier is about double damage, but it looks a bit. 200, I'm not sure if it's double damage or 200% increase. I'm assuming it's just like 200% increase of the damage. As opposed to 100% being base, that would make no sense. Alright, trying to use my iframes right there to avoid some of the shenanigans. Yeah, we lack a tremendous amount of AoE on our ability, so getting close to the boss, a little tricky without risking our life. And this is what I mean with like skills right now, or at least range being in favor. Because there's a lot of mechanics in the game that if you get close to a boss, he decides to ruin your life. Which is a bit of a problem if you don't like your life to be ruined. 15% block chance. I need AoE though. I need AoE. I wonder how high you can stack that block, because if you theoretically have high enough block, you could no longer take damage. I wonder if that's a thing. If you're lucky enough. You can also get multiple dashes as a talent, which allows you to ignore hitboxes. As the dash allows you to ignore hitboxes and move through enemies and such. That unit collision is gone. Which, as you can see, will come in quite handy as a melee unit. Speaking of block chance, let's go. 15% block. Does it say how much block we have right now? Chance to block attacks, 25%. 1 in every 4th attack, theoretically. We need to crank that up, I think. But we also need more damage. We definitely need more damage. Things are definitely surviving longer than I want. Getting stuck in units while on a poison ground is devastating. You can also get knocked down by certain attacks. I've had several situations where I was knocked down in a poison wall. Or poison ground effect. Which wasn't pleasant, as one might imagine. Alright, let's see if I can pick up some more experience here. We're almost at the level. There it is. Damn it. Festering Strike goes up. Let's do it. Definitely could use a level or two there. Alright. Now there's a lot of effects that increase AoE, so I hope to get some more of those. Alright, we're close to unlocking, or to spawning a new boss. As you can see in the top right, we're less than 200 kills away. Which is a little scary. Trying to get dots on the enemy. He has plenty of dots right now. Plenty of negative effects. Okay, he's down. Very good. Very good. Nice. Festering Strike level up or Uppercut level up? Or do I go and get attack speed? That's also interesting. Let's get attack speed. 5% cooldown reduction, give or take. Alright. Because that affects all my abilities, with the exception of the buff. Alright. Let me go through the middle, pick up a bunch of experience. We're close to another level up, very good. Maybe I should run around and try to find more resources. Maybe that's a thing we should do. Critical strike potency. Going from 200 to 210 multiplier. Nope, I'll go with the slash. Because that's our current auto attack, our bread and butter. You can, by the way, in case anybody is wondering, you could replace your basic skill with a whole different skill if you wanted to. You can do that. Absolutely. I wouldn't recommend it, because that basic skill is probably the fastest, one of the faster skills in the game. And also has its own unique, well, I guess it depends on the weapon, if you like the ability of the weapon, right? And if you don't, you can replace it. Easy as that. But yeah, every single skill has certain tags, and those tags interact. And the basic skills you start off with, based on the weapon you equip on whatever character you chose, also have tags. Which might be an indicator on what kind of build you're looking for. Who knows? Or maybe you just like certain stats the character has and you're looking for something else. You have options. And depending on what those runes are going to do when the game is released, and what other kind of benefits might be added, what other meta progression might be unlocked, you might find yourself doing something entirely different. And games like these, for me, very much hinge on the power fantasy. Can I become broken? Can I find synergies or builds that make me feel like a god? One of the reasons I didn't really like Dead Cell for a very long time, because it was very difficult to become a god in that game. And even when you are broken in the context of that game, it didn't really feel like you were a god if you compared it to something like Vampire Survivors or 20 Minutes Till Dawn, Binding of Isaac, right? It still relied too much on skill. Basically, I'm bad at video games. It's really what I'm admitting to. It's too late for this, I think, now. Let's go for more burn. Can I stack burn effects? I wonder. I know I can stack multiple dots of poison. I can stack burn effects. Very good. So that is very solid. Because there are effects that can hit the same target multiple times. Like those arrows of that ranger. Those attacks have an inherent... Every arrow has like an inherent AoE effect attached to it. So if you overlap that AoE effect, you can hit the same target multiple times with one attack. This could be very good. You can shotgun. And I think if it overlaps, it can shotgun to the best of my knowledge. So you can definitely do a lot of on-hit effects with that. Like triggering debuffs. As you can see, it's becoming a little bit more tricky to see what's going on. Also, the FPS is starting to struggle. I also had this when I was not recording. At some point, the game becomes so convoluted, filled with so many effects and creatures, that it starts to struggle at times. I'm not sure as to why that is, but it just seems to be the case. Because the game could use a little bit more optimization. Who knows? Alright. Or maybe I should just turn off the settings for damage numbers. Maybe that will help. Let's see. Makes it look a lot less exciting. But clarity does return. At this point, that is quite useful. Damn it, I'm not getting cool things. Where are my cool things? Where are my AoE extensions? Alright. Trying to get close to the boss, but there's so many like dangerous effects that I cannot see on the ground. And then when you do get close to the boss becomes a dangerous effect on the ground. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. Such a struggle. Yeah, there's a lot of AoE effects that auto-fire. And they have no problem getting to the boss. Melee builds are really good though. You just need very specific talents and whatnot to make it really pop off. Damn, do I only get 5%? Well, we're desperate. Desperation is a hell of a motivator. The boss is dead. We have a couple of 100 kills to go. Not a terrible result so far. Let's get rid of that dangerous place. Let's pick up some iron. Very good. I'm being carried by that double attack, honestly. Oh, I'm getting hit. It is dangerous to be hit by explosions because you just kind of get bounced around. And I've had effects where I just literally stayed in the air for several good seconds, which is terrifying. Because you have no control over your character and you could end up dying as a result. Because you might be in the air, but it does not mean you're immune to damage. Alright. Need to get rid of that. Oh, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Need to get rid of that stone. Or get away from that stone. Looks like the rewards on the iron also become greater as the game goes on. So the longer you stick around, the better it is. We only have one boss left to go. Damn it. Alright. We'll just add more debuffs then. If I can't get damage through other means, then debuffs it is. We take what we can get. That's the nature of these type of games. You can't always go for gold. That would require a different level, I believe. Alright, I can just walk around. I'm stuck. No, stuck in a puddle. Damn. Bunch of AoE effects coming down while there's puddles on the ground. Mildly terrifying. Damn. Right. Picked up that healing crystal. I must be running low on healing crystals right now. Impending Doom. Every time you apply a stack of Doom, there's a 50% chance to apply Confusion as well. Increase the chance to receive critical strikes by 5%. Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of synergies between dots and whatnot. So I can totally see them making something happen that gives you benefits based on the amount of negative effects on an enemy. Totally can see that happen. Look at all those negative effects though. It's more negative effects than there's enemies right now. I can't even tell how much is on whom and where. Alright. Am I doing damage? That's a fence. I have no idea if I am in fact doing damage or not. Things are dying, I'm getting XP, so that's good. Was that my poison thing or was that their poison thing? I too am unfortunately confused. There shows 5 confusion stacks on my, just a little above my health bar. I have no idea what is causing that, what's hitting me or not. Very fun. Okay. I do have a level here. Do I want to go for chill? Sure, let's slow down the enemy, right? Let's slow them down. Why not? More chill. If they can't reach me, they can't hurt me. We're doing quite well so far. This, I believe, is the final boss. Don't get greedy. Don't get greedy. Keep focused. I didn't even see the explosion boys, but they are seemingly in this round. So we have to be careful. Because they do not care for us too much. Now, luckily enough, there's no longer the concern for more bosses spawning, I don't think. As this is the final boss. I actually don't know if they have soft enrage timers or not. Because we have been going at it for a hot minute. Come on. The run so far is doing quite well. Oh boy. Whoa. I hit the actual skybox? There was a skybox? No, I guess it makes sense. Well, I've hit the ceiling. I literally can't get higher. Just uppercut? Damn. Yeah, there's a lot of things that also increase the just all physical skills or all instant skills. And we haven't really received plenty of those. You will always see that, right? When you are not recording and just testing, you always get the greatest things in life. And then when you are recording, you have to actually work for it. God. I do want to kill this boss, because it would be, once again, the first time I clear a fight. I hope it doesn't really become a trend where I only seem to complete games as I record. Although I do want to complete games as I'm recording, but not only when I'm recording. Maybe it's the added pressure of performance that makes me better at video games. Who knows? Not that much life left on that boss. Let's just finish him. Hopefully. Oh, boy. Oh, that's a lot of FPS gone. Return through the portal. Ah. Okay. We are returning through the portal. Victory! Look at that. That's a lot of iron. Very good. Back to main menu. Did we unlock anything by cleaning the game out right now? Doesn't look like it. We did get a lot of iron. It means we can actually unlock the weapon here. Look at that. Select. So now we can actually see... Okay. Oh! It is straight upgrades. So that's what's happening. I thought this weapon had like base stats on him. But these are just your stats for your character. And then the weapon itself also has additional stats. And better trades. So that's what's happening. Okay. Probably need a time code in the description somewhere to specify that. Because that is important information. So yeah, you definitely want to get a character maxed out to really ramp up the ability to go deep into the game. It's just straight up bonuses. I really thought that these stats perhaps were connected to the weapon and not to the character in and of itself. I'm actually happy that's the case. I don't like side grades. I like power upgrades. Once again, it's a power fantasy, right? And side grades, not really a power fantasy. Upgrades definitely are. Really happy about that. That's very good. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my little quick playthrough here of an entire level. Go check it out on Steam. It's currently only accessible in the demo, but we might check it out again once it gets released. Soulstone Survivor. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Check out the description box below for any potential time codes or links. I do stream every single day, and I will see you guys over there. Good night, and I'm out!